All right, welcome back. We'll be talking about the forthcoming Anambra governorship elections, and you've seen the report about security making the rounds. We've got two gentlemen who have joined us this morning to weigh in on the matter. We've got Honorable Ben Wankwo, who is a member of the APGA Campaign Council, where Professor Charles Soludo is a candidate. We've also have Dr. Alex Tobiugbolu, who is of the PDP campaign organization. Gentlemen, good morning, and thank you for joining us on the program today. Well, we just need to know, we did reach out to the, I beg your pardon? I'm sorry, I didn't hear that.
Good morning.
Okay, yes, morning.
Good morning, Timberlake.
Well, yes, we
Good morning,
tried to.
Timberlake.
Good morning. We tried to get across as well to the APC, but we didn't hear back from them as of yet. So, gentlemen, Dr. Alex, let me start with you. There's a lot of concern as to how the processes, the build-up to these elections, the security issues that are making the rounds. So, from your position, could you just tell us, at the moment, what the mindset is for your party? How's the preparations coming on at the moment for these elections?
Chamberlain, we haven't had it so good. Preparations on our side is in high gear. And you can see I'm dressed up. We're ready to move out this morning for campaigns. And we've been hitting the ground running, moving from village to village, hamlet to hamlet, campaigning and selling our manifesto and our candidate. So from this end, it's great. But, you know, everyone has his own function and role to play in this election. Most importantly, the umpire, INEC, and then the security agencies. We've had the IG of police, we've had the NSA, all confirm that they're ready and willing to ensure that there's a free and fair conduct of the election, and each free conduct. But, you know, what's have to be put into action. So for us, I mean, we on our own side, we're doing great. We're prepared. We believe this election is going to hold, and we believe we're going to see it through.
Okay. Well, Honorable Wankwo, what about you? I mean, for those who are maybe looking from the outside, they could have the impression that there's a siege mentality over there at the moment. So what is the situation for you?
Well, for me, for us in All Progressive Grand Alliance, APGA, we are ready for the election, and we are sure the election is going to hold. Yes, it is a truism that there is this fear, palpable fear, or what is likely going to happen. But then we have had this morning that the police have deployed about 100 top ranking police officers to Anambra State, and about 34,000 other ranks. For me, it is a test case for the security system of this country. If they are able to police about 4,000 something square kilometers, 21 local governments, 326 wards, and about 5,000 something polling units. This huge number being deployed, are they able to police the electoral process? Well, for me, it is a test case. And also the president, acting as the commander-in-chief of the armed forces of Nigeria, owes it a duty to the people of Anambra State to protect them from any undue harassment in exercising their franchise. This is a constitutional provision. This is a constitutional requirement that must be done. So for APGA is ready for the election. The campaign is going on in all the wards, in all the villages. We are doing door-to-door. We are almost completing our local government tour and all that. So we are hoping that the environment that for this election to take place is going to be set.
All right. So because you know that politicians will always want to proceed with these elections, but the concerns for the people, do you have fillers in terms of the people? Are they that much confident? Because the threat about the sit-at-home order, you know, hovers, because quite a number of people equally think, well, they had to be sure that, look, their security will be guaranteed if they were to come out to vote. So the apprehension that existed before now on the part of the people, do you think that has waned?
I believe.
Okay. It's there, but I think on daily basis the confidence is building up because of the security that they are seeing being put in place, the assurances from the security hierarchies of this country, as well as the fact that movement is going on, campaign is going on. I wouldn't tell you that this election is not peculiar. It is actually peculiar. But like I have said earlier, it's also a test case. It's a test case for the security system of this country. They should go all out to be, without killing anyway, to protect lives and property in exercise or in actualization of this political competition. They owe it a duty to us. But then, way back to the people, there's going to be a reduction, possibly, in voter participation as a result of the palpable fear. It's really going to affect it in a way. It's not going to cancel out the election entirely. I don't see the election not holding. The election is going to hold. But possibly, as a result of the palpable fear, it's likely that there is going to be a small slide in the participation. That is my thinking.
So, Dr. Obigbolo, if that were the case, isn't that going to affect, the elections and then the kind of results that parties will expect to get at the end of the day?
Well, you see, this election is a bit different from the past elections. Yes, 2017, we had about 431,000 voters turnout. But this election, from what we've been seeing on the campaign grounds and moving from house to house, people are ecstatic, people want to exercise their franchise. They believe that they need to send a message to the political class that you have to perform and you have to raise your bar. So we've seen excitement, and all people are asking us is, please ensure that there's security. People want to feel safe going out. And don't forget the fact that this sense of insecurity varies from local government to local government. There are some local governments that haven't had any incident at all. And there, the excitement is high. So for me, I see a greater turnout. But the issue will be, can the security agents ensure that this turnout comes out? Because look at what happens. While you're running from some other non-state actors, you see yourself also running into the non-conduct within the rules of engagement by the security agents. So I think for the IG, what message we're trying to say is not just the numbers of the security agents you're bringing, 34,000 police officers. Please ensure that they conduct themselves within the rules of engagement, because their presence can become a threat to those who actually want to come out and exercise their franchise.
So has there been any indication whatsoever as to why you're making this call?
Indication as to what?
That things will go wrong. You talked about non-conduct or non-professional or proper conduct of these agencies.
When they don't conduct themselves within their rules of engagement. When you simply see young men in a vehicle and you begin to behave in a manner that is not conducive and not expected of a police officer. Because the term is, police is my friend, the police is your friend. So for us, that is what the security agencies should ensure in making sure that their officers and men behave themselves in the way they conduct themselves.
Is there a precedent that informed what you just said? I think that's the question Chamberlain is asking. Is there a precedent that may have informed this opinion?
Yes, before now.
Go ahead.
Most of our young people, most of our men are not happy with the way security agents conduct themselves, especially in the Southeast. It's not just in Anambra State, in the Southeast. Once they see young men, they assume they are Yahoo, they assume that they're armed robbers, they assume they are bandits. And this is wrong.
So if this is the understanding that you have and your perception of the way people generally see security agencies, how then can you be confident that there is going to be a large turnout of voters, as you said earlier? Because even from a report done by an election observer, Yaga Africa, it says, look, the major issue for them about this election is voter apathy, not even as so much as insecurity.
I think the voters' apathy, if it does happen, will not be as a result of not wanting to exercise their franchise, but because they don't feel safe enough to come out. And that's why we're saying that whilst we commend the federal government for the security provisions they've made, but they should also bear in mind that the conduct of the officers and men will also impact positively or negatively on the outcome of the elections.
Well, let me take this to Mr. Nwako. So if the police is deploying 34,587 men for that election, for what, 5,720 polling units. That's an average of 6 policemen per polling unit. And for Dr. Obiagulu, he's of the opinion that, I mean, there have been some instances in the past where security officials in those areas have been found wanting in their conduct. Do you share that opinion now if you're having 6 police officers, at least by that calculation, an average of 6 per polling unit? Do you have any concerns?
Yeah, this is the highest they would have in any election. Therefore, the people would expect nothing but the best in terms of professionalism, in terms of conduct with respect to rules of engagement. And I think what Dr. Obiagulu is saying, for me, is a matter of not allowing any tension to build up. Rather, the anxiety should be relaxed. And a lot will depend on how the security system conducts itself in Anambra State. 2, it also will depend on the perception of the people as to whom they are acting for. Are they coming, working for the Federal Republic of Nigeria, working for the security of lives and property, or are they coming on the, on the understanding that they are aligning themselves, or they are disposed to this party or that party as a result of being the ruling party? It is also very important, because if that happens, there's going to be resistance, and that is going to, by itself, create insecurity. So the number of policemen coming, other security agencies coming, fantastic. And this would be the highest we would have in the electoral history of Anambra State. We would not expect that there is any security breakdown. We wouldn't also expect that our people are handled unnecessarily. They should conduct themselves professionally, transparently, more importantly, transparently. Of course, it goes to professional conduct. So, because if they come in, in order to assist one party or the other to gain electoral advantage over others, our people are going to resist it.
So just to be clear where we are right now, what is the current perception?
Well, going by the feelers and what we are hearing, when a party tells you that they are taking over Anambra State, this takeover mentality that is precipitating the siege that you are anticipating, that is not good enough. When a political party that has never been in Anambra State for the past 10 years comes to town, going on membership drive, buying few persons, and then telling you they are taking over by all means. They will tell you that they took over Imo State, and they took over Imo State and nothing happened, and that they are going to take over Anambra State. That would that is going to induce some thinking. It's going to make our people think that, this number of security agencies coming, they are coming in order to aid a particular political party in winning the election.
Mr. Nwako, if I could come in now, I thought that was the usual, political, parlance when you're campaigning, saying we're going to, take over. Let me just ask Dr. Obiagulu, because, he's a politician as well. Isn't that the terms that, politicians use during campaigning? We're going to take over the seat of the power. Isn't that what you say, usually?
Well, yeah, I think my brother, okay.
No, that's for Dr. Obiagulu, actually.
my brother Ben said it, but he didn't add the cliche, which makes a difference. When you say you're going to take over, whether we like it or not, when you say we're going to take over, you will see. I mean, it goes beyond saying you want to take over by the electoral box, you know, and I think that is where the difference is. But for us, we're very confident that Anambra has been a state that has continued to exhibit some form of resistance to any imposition. The history over the years has shown it, and this won't be different. But for us, we're looking forward. We know that in a free and fair election, the winner will emerge.
Well,
For
so
us,
Dr.
we're working hard.
Your party has also, I mean, made some of those statements saying that, I mean, why are you entering an election if not to win anyway? So you have made those statements. So let me ask Mr. Nwako, pardon me.
Not said in any way that we win at all costs.
Okay, so let me ask Mr. Nwako, if some of the statements made by the PDP come off as a threat to APGA in the state.
Yes.
Look, as far as we are concerned, APGA is not afraid of any person competing for every vote in Anambra State. We are not afraid. And that includes PDP. We are ready to compete with any political party or all the political parties for every vote in Anambra State. We are confident of winning. For the past 16 years, APGA has been on ground in Anambra State. But what we are saying is that somebody or a political party telling you they are taking over, they have come to take over. Meanwhile, that political party does not have any structure on ground. That political party is still on membership drive. That political party is only hoping on the infrastructure in quote it is going to garner from the center. And he's saying, oh, we are coming over to take over so that we can connect you to the center. And that is like Dr. Bill said, whether you like it or you don't like it. It is not a language that one speaks in a democratic environment or setting.
I mean, you've heard politicians, in fact, we had a conversation with the governor who said some of those things are political gunshots that will not kill anyone. So sometimes it's difficult to really understand what politicians say during campaigning, and I mean, they win or they lose and eventually say, no, forget that. We know what we were saying. Okay, don't take it too serious. But we've talked largely about the work of the security agencies, which is quite important. Let's talk about the umpire. INEC has said that, you know what, this election will be embarrassingly transparent. I mean, so transparent. That's what the INEC has said. And I mean, there have been reports which INEC has, denounced anyway, saying that some workers didn't fail to show up. INEC says, well, we have enough manpower. There's still questions about PVC collections, the date which people will start collecting PVC. So let's take it from that angle of the electoral umpire. Are you confident?
Good morning.
Well, INEC, as it were, they have always assured us at every election that it will be, the process will be transparent, that the election will be free and fair and all that. But that is telling. It is not doing. We will be wishing INEC all the luck, but resisting the pressure that we are seeing from desperate politicians and political parties wanting to take over is something that will be very, very interesting for us to see. So, right now, there is this fear that INEC may not live up to the expectation in terms of transparency, openness. I said I'm wishing them luck because I know that pressure is being mounted on them. They have to be able to show us their postings, that persons being posted to work in Anambra State are not recruited from Imo State. That every person that is going to be posted as an electoral ad hoc staff is not a member of any political party. They have a duty to manifest that. 3, they have a responsibility also to make sure that result sheets are not duplicated in any material particular, not duplicated at all. They have to allow the electoral observers openness to be able to assess what they are doing and also to observe what they are doing. It is equally very, very important.
But, you know, Honorable Wanko, you, your party has won a number of elections that the same INEC has conducted. And you also have been in different positions yourself. So when you say they are just telling and not doing, so in spite of their previous telling and not doing, your party has won. So what's different with this one?
No, I am talking with respect to this election. And like Dr. Biobolo said, this election is different.
But it hasn't held yet.
Election,
so what is it that they're telling and not doing at the moment?
Yeah, at the moment, the number of persons that we are training, they said they have all it takes to conduct the election. But few moments, they have said, oh, we don't have enough staff. And there is this fear that the next thing they will do is that probably, possibly, they will go to Imo State and recruit some political party member.
Yeah, but your party, there was this interagency consultative committee meeting that was held on Monday. Was your party present?
Yes, my party was present.
So weren't they satisfied with the meeting, the outcome, and the submissions at the meeting?
Fantastic. My party is satisfied with what INEC is telling us. But we are looking up to INEC to live up to their expectation by doing that which the ground norms, the guidelines, the Constitution say they should do.
Going by previous, going by antecedents, Honorable, what is it that you think INEC is doing now that may compromise its integrity with you?
Excellent.
Can you hear me, Honorable?
Yes, sorry, take that again, I didn't hear you.
So going by precedents, what INEC has done before that you also referenced earlier from what my colleague has been asking, what right now seems to be a threat to the integrity of INEC as far as you're concerned?
Recruitment of ad hoc staff.
You have a problem?
Say it, I have said it repeatedly, that it seems to me, this is my personal opinion, that the shortage they are talking about, they are going to redeem it from Imo State. We do not want a mass recruitment of ad hoc staff from Imo State for any reason at all. We do not want that to happen. And one would want to see an INEC that is truly independent, living up to its expectation, and not doing the bidding of any political party that is in the mood of taking over, not winning.
All right, gentlemen, just give us a moment. Dr. Begbolo, we'll come to you when we return from this break. Stay with us. So, Mr. Wanko, if you don't want them to recruit ad hoc staff from Imo State, where do you want them to recruit from?
You know, Chamberlain, you asked me a question. You said I have been in various positions. I wouldn't be the right candidate to make this analysis for you, because if you go by my experience, I can inform you through this medium now that in 2015, I won election. And before me, INEC took my certificate and gave to another person. It took me 2 years to fight through the Supreme Court to get my mandate back. So when I talk about INEC doing more than telling, I know what I'm talking about. Yes, on the surface, they will come to give you a kind of understanding. Now, going direct to your question, if they don't recruit from Imo State, where would they recruit? There are 3 million people in Anambra State, and I'm not aware they are looking for up to 1 million. And I'm sure I have answered your question. they will have no reason to be recruiting from Imo State at all. I'm sure you have had and read reports about how people are being prepared from a University of Technology Owerri. And those who are being prepared and they're doing ID cards for them are members of political party. And I'm informing you that Anambra State has a population of over 3 million people. INEC will be looking for about not more than 5,000 persons.
Well,
They can be found in Anambra State.
As you have said, you have reports. In fact, you've said this is also your personal opinion. So it's important to state that, I mean, except you have proof anyway, something to show that this is really the intention, then we'll just take this, as you have said, as a personal opinion. But I wonder if Dr. Obiogwolu shares the same sentiment about, I mean, this report that Ms. Honorable Nwako referenced. I mean, do you support him? Do you see something like this happening as well? What are your thoughts?
You see, the issue is not who you recruit as ad hoc staff. From experience, the main issue is with the transparency of the process and the intention of the umpire. Does the umpire want the process manipulated, or does the umpire want a true and fair process? And the umpire, we mean in this case, is the man at the top, the chairman of INEC. What is his intention? So far, with words, they've been good. If they can keep to those words, then we will all have a free and fair process. But let me tell you, the BVAC is more important than the ad hoc officer, the presiding officer. Because INEC has said to us that that machine, if it's not used, there will be no election in that polling booth. Will they keep to their word, or will they truncate that process and go back to what they call this list, where they make up list and say, okay, everybody should vote, or deny those people the right to vote? Because these are the things, little things that they do that manipulate the process.
Okay,
The
Dr.
BVAC
Obiogwolu,
machine-
a couple of things there. Pardon me, just before you go a little further, when you say the issue is not about who they recruit, but we also have seen and do know that while Professor Jega was chairman of INEC, he moved away from the way they were recruiting who was returning officer. He had to go to vice chancellors and professors to confer, so that certain things demonstrating his intention for a transparent process. So didn't that count for something?
No, because these are still Nigerians. These are still persons that will have interest. So the issue is not in who you recruit, but you, who is the umpire, what is your intention? If your intention is that the process will be fair, then from your body movement and your language, everybody will know they have to sit up or they go to jail.
So you wouldn't mind if members of political parties were returning officers, were ad hoc staff? You wouldn't mind that?
It's not for me to say, but let me put it this way. Even if you put a member of a political party as a returning officer and the process is transparent, he will still give the result of what the people want. So for me, for example, let me give you the process. The BVAC that is supposed to accredit the voter, if it's manipulated, like the card reader will usually be manipulated in the past, not to work in areas where they feel that the likely winner is strong, that would deny that political party the votes, because throughout the whole day, there's nobody that is able to cast his or her vote.
Why do you think?
So
why do you think
very
it will
important.
be? Why do you think it will be manipulated? Has it been before in the States? Was it manipulated in Edo?
The card reader has already been manipulated. We've seen that now on the field. The
No,
card
they're two
reader was
different things now.
manipulated.
The BVAC or the card reader, aren't they two different things?
Yes,
Are you talking about the card reader or the BVAC?
I'm giving you an experience from the card reader. And I'm saying, let's hope that the BVAC will be allowed to succeed in Anambra State.
So INEC is meant to deploy the ZPAD, which is meant, under the BVAC, the Bimodal Voter Accreditation procedure, essentially. And this is going to be like a major test of it. And INEC has spoken very highly of it. In fact, INEC has pushed even further, pushing for electronic transmission of results and the rest, based on this particular system, which says they trust the system. It says it will be embarrassingly transparent, according to INEC. But on the field now, you have said that you hope that... so I just want to be clear. Are you saying that you really want INEC to stick to that no voter accreditation, no voting? Or you would like a case where if that does not work, INEC will find another way so people will not be disenfranchised? What's your position on that?
Okay, let me explain to you. INEC has said no BVAC, no voting. Yes, it's good in principle. But then the agents of INEC who have the knowledge of the back end of this device can truncate the device so that a particular candidate in his area of strength will not be able to have votes cast in that area. Because the principle is no BVAC, no voting. So that's why I'm saying that I hope the insiders don't truncate the process, because they know the device, they know how it works. For every device that is manufactured, the manufacturer knows the weak and the strength, the weakness and the strength of that. So that's one. Then second one is the election results sheet. We've been hearing people from a particular political party insinuating and boasting that these results will be written. And I know that the only way you can write the result is at the polling booth with the 8A. And we know in the past in Anambra State, these 8A originals were duplicated, the same serial number, and two result sheets with the same serial number. So INEC, coming from experience, must inspire confidence by being transparent. For example, when they receive these things from wherever it's coming to move to Abuja, and to move to the CBN, political parties should be invited to witness it. Because involving the political parties, the players, enables you to build, inspire confidence in them, and then they know that the process is going to be fair. But when everything is done in secrecy, you do it and then you announce it, then people begin to suspect you. But overall, we are very confident that this election will produce the best winner, because we know that the people are desirous of showing the government in power out through the door. So we know we are going to win the election, and that's why we're asking them to please ensure that it is fair and fair.
Well, both you, Dr. Ogbolu, and Honorable Nwankwo, are essentially saying the same thing that you don't want to hear the other party say, take over, so to speak. So, but in all of the conversations that we've been having, no one really has come out to say, okay, this is what distinguishes our party from the other party in terms of what you intend to offer to the people. But Honorable Nwankwo, let me begin with you. In this wave, these days of a wave of defections, movement from one party to the other, and all kinds of conversations within the political class, and the high level of voter apathy occasioned by the fact that we don't know which politician has a strong enough principle, to give us exactly what we want. How strong is a political party to ensure that any elected official, any governor, is compelled to do what the party promised the people?
Well, thank you very much. I had my friend and my brother say that his party will be showing the ruling party the back door. Well, I will be wishing him luck, but that political party, every political party in Anambra State knows that the party to beat is the All Progressive Grand Alliance. Reason is because whatever we are doing is performance-based, verifiable performance, tangible, seeable, eye-markable, permit that language, performance, monumental legacy projects.
So
that are on
monumental,
ground
as you
by the
say,
administration.
Honorable. If it is as monumental as you say, how come voter turnout has depreciated incrementally over the years?
I am not aware of the last election having any form of voter apathy. Instead, there is a high voter participation and the turnout. If you remember that APGA won in 21 local governments of Anambra State. It never happened in the history of Anambra State. I even doubt if there is any state in the federation where one political party won in all the local governments. I stand to be corrected. Now, when I talk about monumental projects, you talk about a government that has delivered the best airport any state will deliver to its people. You talk about government that is paying salary, you talk about human development, you talk of education, you talk about road infrastructure, and so on and so forth. Now, I heard what you said about the social contract. Which political party, which candidate has the best manifesto that is selling to the people, doable, actionable manifestos? I am not here to talk about the superiority of the APGA candidate. Every person, nobody is in doubt in Anambra State today as to who is the right candidate, most qualified, most prepared in terms of integrity, in terms of exposure, network, experience, and also knowing where to press the button when it matters. It is Professor Charles Soludo. Every political party is aware of this. Every political party is fighting him. He is the man that has got he's like the tree with fruit. So every person is throwing stone at him. There is no doubt about that. And if you take time to do a content analysis of his manifesto, you would know that that is the best any candidate would offer to his people. And he's committed to delivering it to Anambra State. He's committed to operationalizing that manifesto. He's not just writing economic or social development document, but it is something that is from his heart. He has done it before. I have just taken a tour of some coastal countries of West Africa, and I saw Nigerian banks standing tall as corporate giants in the streets of West African countries and other African countries. It is as a result of a policy that somebody implemented to the core, somebody conceived, and today we have seen what he is capable of doing. We know his antecedents. We know what he is capable of doing. What he has managed, the portfolios he has managed. We are not talking about that. But what we are saying is that it's a matter of trust. The people trust Professor Charles Soludo.
Well, I guess on that day, it's going to be a true test, because all the political parties, both of you are saying yes. You want to win, which is normal. Every party is in there for the win, and so yes, just like we also reached out to the APC a number of times, but we didn't get a response from them to be on the program as well. To really hear what their view is about what is going on. But hopefully, at some point, we hope that they will be able to make it.
Yeah, but, valid one there. And I'm just hoping that when they come, if they, get to talk to us as well, we'll be able to get some of these questions out to them. But, Dr. Gwole, let me also ask you the same question. About the voter turnout and your promise to the people that will elicit enough confidence for them to turn out the way they turned out in 2007. In 2007, the percentage of voters in the Anambra election was 2007 actually was 68% of voters, right, as opposed to 2017, where it was 22% of voters. What's the assurance you want to give that your party has enough promise that will elicit enough confidence for the people to say, we're going to vote for that party with the assurance that it will deliver to us? Not just the individual, but the party.
Forgive me laughing, because I've been laughing since my brother and friend has been struggling to talk about what his party has done. But let me correct some records. 2007, that election was massively manipulated. And you saw that was why there was massive anger, and the Supreme Court saved us by asking P2B to return. But I can tell you with all confidence that since 2010, the elections has improved. The quality of elections we've had in Anambra State has improved. And in 2010, P2B won with about 97,000 votes. In 2014, Chief Willie Obiano, in his first tenure, won with 174,000 votes. There was a greater turnout because people were happy that P2B had done much, and there was expectations. Now, in 2017, the last election, the governor won with 234,000, thereabout, for this 21/21 they've been branding. But one thing was unique. The voter turnout was low. The total votes cast was 431,000 out of about 1.9 million voters on the register. But in this election, there's high expectation that people will turn out. For the main reason that people find that this government has failed them is being from Ngige to P2B, there's been improvement. They had expected him to climb higher, but they've been a total failure. And for that reason, people are expecting to turn out. Let me tell you one thing that is unique about PDP and our candidate. I'm a founding member of PDP. I can tell you that PDP today is a revamped party, especially in Anambra State. If you look at the quality of primaries that was organized in PDP, it's been the best, transparent. And that was how somebody who was not expected to emerge, going by the old ways, emerged. Now compare it against APGA. My brother Ben Wanko was once in PDP with us. It was because of bad primaries, foul primaries that made him leave. But look at the way we conducted ourselves this time around. Well, now compare it to APGA.
Well, Dr. Obiogbola, you know how politics is. I hope someone someday will not be saying about you that you are once with them in the PDP. But, just on a final note, still referencing that 2017 election, your party, the PDP, had, what, 70,000 votes out of 448,000 votes cast. The APC, incidentally, had close to 100,000. They had 98,000. And, of course, the winner had over 200,000. So, I mean, by all standards, the PDP, going by that particular election, is still third in the race. So if we could just do this in 30 seconds, what's different this time?
You have to take each election as it goes. Don't forget that in the National Assembly elections, we swept the polls. We had a lot of out of the 11 positions, we took 6. The presidential election, we took over 95% of the votes cast. So you have to look at each election as it goes. And one of the things that affects the election is the quality of your candidate, and also the way the elections were conducted, the primaries were conducted.
All right, gentlemen, so, we need to wrap up at this point. Apologies, but just a yes or no question, though. So, Dr. Obiogbola, do you think your party will win these elections?
Certainly, because for us, we have a better candidate in Valos.
Okay. Honorable Wanko, what about you?
Soludo.
APGA won the last election. This election, we will win it even better. Because
I can almost say then that APC too will say they will win the elections, but unfortunately they couldn't make the show today. But gentlemen, we thank you both for coming on. That's the interesting thing about all of this; it's always optimistic. Gentlemen, thank you for coming on this morning. All right, so
thank you.
All right, that's it. That's what happens with politicians. They're always optimistic that they will win.